good morning, or maybe not so good, depending on how deep you're into this Dolphins thing and what kind of news you've been chewing on lately. Jonnu Smith. Yeah, that name's echoing. If you heard what dropped Thursday, you know. If not, you're going to want to sit with this for a second. Let's put it this way. There's something that feels off. Not like the usual off-season shuffle. This is different. This is the kind of move that pokes at something deeper. Jonnu Smith isn't a megastar. He's not out here breaking the league. But losing him? That says something. You watch teams make trades, cut guys, sign names that barely blink across a ticker, and you roll with it. Part of the game. But then comes a name like Jonnu, and suddenly, you stop. Not because he's a Hall of Famer in the making. No, but because he's a symbol. A barometer. He tells you exactly how much this front office gets it, or doesn't. If they can't hold on to him, what does that tell you? What's the message? Not to the fans. Forget the PR spin. What's the message to the locker room? You think those guys aren't watching? You think they're not doing the math every time someone decent gets shipped out? They are. They always are. But let's shift gears. Because while that story brews, something else is simmering. Media deals. Rights. Power. The NFL doesn't blink. And now they're staring down every major network in the game. Fox. CBS. NBC. Amazon. Netflix peeking in. ESPN making moves. There's an opt-out clause floating out there like a loaded weapon, quiet, but real. It's after the 2029 season, mostly. For ESPN, it's a year later. But the clock's ticking either way. And the way it's looking, the NFL's gonna pull that trigger. Maybe not in the way you expect. Maybe not all dramatic and loud. But it's gonna happen. Because there's money out there. And not just a few bucks here and there. We're talking billions. Deals signed in 2021 that looked massive, already aging, already being eyed for upgrades. The NFL knows its worth. And it's not going to sit politely and wait for the networks to catch up. So what does that mean for us? For the viewers? It's not as clean as your game's going to be on a different channel. That's surface level. The shift's deeper. It's about who holds the keys. What happens when Fox doesn't control the NFC slate? What if CBS loses the AFC games to a streaming platform? What if Amazon makes a serious play? They already have Thursday nights. What if they want Sundays too? Are you ready to chase your team across 6 platforms just to see a full season? Because that's where it's going. Slowly. Not overnight. But it's happening. Now ESPN. Let's talk about that beast. The rumors about them taking over the NFL network? Not just smoke. There's a real fire building. Rich Eisen gone. More departures than arrivals. The draft coverage is the last thing tethering that channel to relevance. So when ESPN comes in, arms wide open, it makes sense. They're building their own direct-to-consumer platform. No more middlemen. No more cable subscriptions needed. Just pay them directly, and they feed you everything. Red Zone. They want that. Fantasy. All of it. One-stop shop. And once they've got it, they'll push. Because ESPN doesn't do subtle. They're not just thinking about this season. Or next. They're eyeing the decade. If you're going to spend billions, you want control. You want leverage. You want to be the heartbeat of Sundays. And if ESPN gets NFL Network under its wing, they're halfway there. Meanwhile, traditional networks are sweating. Because they know the truth. Without the NFL, they're irrelevant. Not just sports divisions, entire brands. Look at Nielsen ratings. Year after year, NFL games swallow the top 100 like it's nothing. They drive ad revenue, viewership, relevance. You lose the NFL, and you're a shell. But here's the kicker. The NFL knows this too. And they use it. They'll dangle those rights, toy with the idea of rotating conference championships, float Amazon and Netflix into the conversation. Not because they're ready to leap, but because it makes everyone else sweat. It bumps up the bids, raises the floor, keeps the power dynamic tilted. You think CBS is going to just hand over the AFC championship to a streamer without a fight? Of course not. But if they want to keep it, they'll pay. And the NFL won't apologize. It's business. They don't flinch. Let's look at Monday Night Football for a second. The 2-game experiment? Some hated it. Others leaned in. But staggered start times, 7 and 10 p.m. work. You're not stuck with a blowout and nothing else. You get options. You get a reason to keep watching.